I'll try to keep this short. Yeah, I get it, it's hot here. They told us that the air conditioning is on full blast. If you listen very, very carefully, you're going to hear it. So, and also everyone's fanning, so it's like I'm watching a movie from up here. So, anyways, first of all, thank you, Dr. Brewster. I just want to say on behalf of everyone, my entire class, it is a great pleasure to have you here with us this evening to celebrate this great event. You always had me in As I'm sure everyone here recalls, you always had that uncanny ability to make us laugh. And, of course, we would study for your exams and go a little bit to your exams lighthearted, but then wish we'd studied a little more. But, hey, that happens. At the same time, welcome back. It's a great pleasure to have you. And considering we were the very last class, if you recall, in the modules that you taught, I only saw it fitting to invite you here to about a year ago. So thank you, welcome back. So my dear friends, classmates, faculty members, family, everyone, tonight we're celebrating a great achievement, one that is 4 years in the making. An achievement that left a small trail of tears, but also some very good and fond memories. After tonight, we are forever joined in the ranks of Wayne State alumni, and as we exit these doors, we are leaving with the title of Doctors of Pharmacy. Feels great, doesn't it? We will become the faces of medical practice in the community, taking our responsibilities to the next level after licensure by becoming one of the most trusted and accessible professionals while we promote safe and effective medication use. My friends, 4 years have come and gone fast. And now it is all over, and I think we can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. A very long tunnel indeed. So now that we have finally reached this point, I kind of want to share some of our memories with our honored guests, our faculty members, our memories from the last 4 years of pharmacy school. Remembering the good times, as I like to call it, right? It all started P1 year, the time of intense studying and a little bit of partying. Foolishly enough, we were all so excited to be accepted into the professional program here, but we sort of forgot the most important part, studying for classes and passing all the classes. As we started a heavy course load in pathology and medicinal chemistry, we started to get a sense of what it was really like to have a really difficult graduate schedule. Our schedules were filled with 5 intense science classes in one semester. Dr. Opitchi's class on drug dosages and forms turned out to be more than just about the difference between gels and ointments. We were kind of surprised after that first exam. Dr. Jaworski's pathology kept us on our toes. While the curriculum was saturated with different classes like pharmacy law, patient care lab. But I must say, it was a surprise that we somehow survived that 1 week where we had 5 midterms and practicals mixed in together. So honestly, we made it, guys. But even so, we still found ways to blow off steam. We basically tore up the Garden Bowl. You guys remember that place? P1 and P2 year, enjoying bowling nights, karaoke nights. Eventually, they got to know us and our class so well that they offered a free night of bowling. That happened. Well, believe it or not, we took the offer. And that was quite an achievement for a group of students, professional students that were supposed to be studying. So, anyways. There were times when we looked, and there were times that we actually tried to bond and everything, and we went to Tigers games, we organized volleyball tournaments that year, and personally my favorite was when we went to the breast cancer walk on Belle Isle. So, second year kind of rolled around, and we were introduced to this thing called modules, quite intimidating. The most difficult transition came that year, and we had lectures that lasted over 3 hours, and we had exams practically every week. Our schedules were kind of busy. I remember the shock on our faces when we took that first lecture in the exam in pharmacology. We sort of started rethinking our career choice, maybe look for plan Bs like that art degree or bartending. But, you guys remember the lollipop model, right? Of the CNSL, very important. But in the following months, we endured module classes in infectious diseases and cardiology. I remember pulling my first all-nighter for infectious diseases, and it was actually with a couple of our classmates in the UGL. I came back home around 5-ish or so to catch some breakfast at home, and I was studying in the living room at 6 a.m. My mom woke up. She walked up to me, and she looked at me and said, Dziecko. Czemu ty nie śpisz? We're Polish speaking, so that basically means, my dear child, why aren't you sleeping? And that broke my heart, not needless to say. But that was a difficult time for all of us, and coffee abuse became rampant, and we started to see what being true professionals was really like. As the third year of pharmacy school rolled around, we accepted the fact that modules were not going to get any easier, so we hunkered down and kept calm and kept going, right? But despite of all these difficult transitions, some of the best qualities of our class came during these years. You would expect students studying for such a prestigious program to become a little selfish, study on their own, not help each other out, but I can tell you that's not really what happened with our class. Self-studying was just not our thing, and I have a good example of this. We had a couple of study groups. All these study groups are recognizable in the LRC, or were recognizable when we were taking modules. But there was one group that kind of stuck out in particular. This group consisted of Sinan, Mayer, the Benepal twins, Dimitri. Some of you got, there we go. You guys remember that. And they would get there at 6 a.m. before our tough module exams, and they would do a last-minute crunch before the 9 o'clock exam. These guys would sit in the LRC and start blurting out facts and seriously start arguing over different concepts in pharmacology, and you would be able to hear Sinan's voice throughout the entire LRC. So everybody got a little piece of that action. This quickly became the most popular study group among all of us, though. And I swear to you, anybody, and you guys can confirm this, anybody who sat with these guys for about 10 minutes would learn at least one vital fact that would be on that exam, right? Saved my skin on multiple occasions. So, anyways, in the midst of studying for these exams, our humor was somehow still maintained as well. Best moments, in my opinion, came during Dr. Bach's class. Yeah, okay. Our very own Alan Rosicki, right there. You know, you couldn't settle for just a normal presentation, could you? Nope. On the day of the presentation on waste in the healthcare system, you dressed up in a nice navy blue suit, a gray wig at that, glasses, and you started strolling and strutting around the entire classroom, kind of like Dr. Bach did. Fantastic presentation. We missed that one. But Dr. Bach, you came back to me about a couple days later and just looked at me and said, "Never in my years of teaching has anybody come even close to doing anything like that." So, but as we all recall, that Alan wasn't done just yet. This kid has the most epic laugh ever, in my opinion at least. This one picture of this most dumbfounded monkey came up on one of the slide sets, and you were able to hear this kid laughing from all the way up in Dr. Ryback's lab. 2 weeks later, we had an exam, extra credit question, boom. Who was that kid that laughed so hard during the exam? Let's face it, Alan, your laugh is so epic, it appeared on the exam. And that's what pharmacy school was like for us. But I'd like to acknowledge a lot of the achievements that we had. During the time of pharmacy school, a lot of things happened that would change our lives forever. Friendships happened, and hopefully friendships that we made in pharmacy school are going to last throughout our lives. A couple to mention, Josh and Ryan. You guys have become really the best of buddies, honestly. And Paulina and Lisa, you guys have practically lost sisters before pharmacy school, and you just were somehow reunited, kind of like on Moripovich or something. So, but that was that. No offense with the Moripovich, but they usually reconnect lost siblings. But some of our classmates decided to tie the knot. Actually, quite a few, more than I recall in any of the other classes. I want to congratulate Katya, Sarah, Ryan, and Josh. Honestly, well, not all of you guys together. Your spouses. But anyways, I tried planning a grad party and I saw how hard that was to do, so, doing modules and planning a wedding, that's, honestly, congratulations to all of you. And congratulations to the spouses for having to deal with whining pharmacy students. Also, congratulations to all the students that had kids during pharmacy school. quite a few of you, more than I recall from other classes as well. Kate, Green, Kennedy, Josh, Jeremy, you guys all had wonderful kids, boys, as I recall, for all of you. I wish you and the new members of your families the best of health, best of luck. Your children are going to be proud of you. So, but there were, of course, a lot of other achievements. There were a couple of things, in my opinion, that stood out about our class, and we excelled in leadership. Particularly proud of the way we handled a lot of organizations. We were part of the upbringing of the USSHP organization during our P2 year. Also, Kappa Psi themselves, they have doubled in size since we started as P1s, and most of that, I think, happened during our P3 year when we were kind of controlling the school. Congratulations to LKS for your involvement and continuous involvement in the pharmacy, and not forgetting, about what student life is like. And also to everyone that participated in fighting AIDS with nutrition. All these leadership opportunities, our class, it wasn't where just one person just, tried to take all these leadership opportunities. It's pretty well distributed among us, as you were able to hear from the different awards during graduation. But with all these things left in the past, we now have to look into the future at what lies ahead. Let's consider this. These are our future responsibilities. On one side, we're going to be these public figures. They'll be the most trusted health advocates in the community. That's pretty well established, we know that. On the other hand, we will be the designated pharmacists and healthcare providers in our families, right? Right, families? They will badger us with questions about whether Dr. Oz was right about cranberries actually causing weight loss, or whether that new drug that the family doctor prescribed is any good, or whether that cut on their finger looks infected or not. So, and another thing about our future, I was browsing the New York Times a few years back, and I was reading an article regarding the changes in healthcare and whatnot, and there was this one line that really stuck out to me that I kind of hold to this day, and it was, "The state of our union is only as good as the state of our health." Now, you can take that sentence into any political sense you want. I'm not going to argue you. But when I looked at this as a practitioner, to me it meant that I can